back. All right, for another great Lakers weekend. Truly appreciate you joining us. Lakerholics Spotlight. Go ahead and make sure you stop on by Lakerholics.com where they talk everything Lakers. So go ahead and make sure you stop on by to the best website out there covering the Los Angeles Lakers. Once again, as JV Sweet goes upside down, is getting me dizzy at Lakerholics.com. I think Tom says the same thing. Jamie, you make me dizzy every Indeed. But great to have you here. Good morning. I've got Jamie Sweet and also as well, of course, LRob right here for you guys. Truly great to have you here. Happy New Year, LRob. I know this is your first episode of the year. Welcome back, my friend. It's always great to have you part of what we're doing here, or what Jamie and Tom and Michael are doing here on the show. I'm just a fill in for now.
Oh, whatever.
Happy New Year. It's always great to be
Year.
among Lakerholics.
There you go. Absolutely.
It's hard right now. This is bad right now.
Well, it isn't.
Well, that's when we need each other during times like this.
That's a good point. Well said, LRob. Well said.
Well, I'm going to put it a little bit on the bright side because we're known as, when it comes to telling people like it is, sometimes we give people, give the people the harsh truth, more times than not. With this team, especially as of late. The good news is that the Lakers are still 9 games above 500. Unfortunately, they did fall in the standings while they were off. They're now officially 6th place in the tie with the Houston Rockets, but technically, because of the tiebreakers, 6th place in the Western Conference. Basically, a game out of the play-in, which should come as a concern to a lot of people, especially the fact that one Luka Doncic is not going to be playing tonight as the team heads into Portland for the first of a weekend back-to-back. So, A, no Luka Doncic. B, a back-to-back, as, of course, they come back for a game, I believe, against Toronto on Sunday. So, guys, I'll start it with this. Heading into this doubleheader and YYC, good morning, my friend. Great to have you here.
YYC.
LRob, I'll start with you since fresh meat onto the grinder for the Lakers this year. Your astute wisdom, as always, my friend, on what's gone wrong with the Lakers, what's gone awry, because the fingers are being pointed everywhere. And sometimes it takes a good head of clarity like yours to go ahead and point it in that right direction.
Well, I mean, injuries one. You can't overlook the fact that they're missing key players and they haven't been healthy for some time. Lack of athleticism, lack of defense, and pretty much their flaws have kind of catching up to us. I think we've been better than our record indicates for a while. So, what is it? Levels finding this water's finding this level. So, I mean, we are what we kind of was thinking, maybe 5th, 6th in the West. We were, hopeful when they got off to a good start that they could, be in the top 4. But now it's trending more toward the play-in. So, but really need to get Austin back, showing his value that, he lost 8 out of 13. I don't know how many of those he's missed. It's been a lot. Lost 3 of the last 4 teams that aren't very good. So, yes, it's a tough time. This is what JJ wanted. This is what life in the NBA as a head coach is. And I'm interested to see how he handles this. Because it's one of those times where, it can go south on you fast, and if the team stops competing, then yeah.
So Jamie, YYC, also very astute, as LRob just said and just pointed out. He said the main things for me are that they can't defend and can't shoot. There's a myriad of things that they can't do right now. They can't score off the bench. They can't rebound. They can't go on transition. They can't defend the transition. A myriad of things, the basics that you need to go ahead and do in order to have winning basketball. So that's where we'll start, Jamie. Again, with Admiral Akbar games, that I still go and honor you with every
Thank you.
time they lose to a Sacramento or a Charlotte and get creamed in doing so.
Oh man.
Your thoughts, my friend, on where the Lakers stand heading into this very now important doubleheader?
Well, I mean, as I said last week with Michael and Tom, we're coming up at the halfway point, and so there's not mystery. If team, we generally know who the team is at this point, and I think LRob put it really, really well. We all kind of picked them to be, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. I think Tom maybe had him as high as 2 or 3 because Tom Sunnyside Tom. And that's fine. That's what a prediction is. It's hope, right? You're hoping that this will go right or that won't happen, or this bad thing is never going to come to fruition, or injuries won't plague the team. And injuries plague every single team. And I accept the injury excuse to a point, but there's also just this lack of cohesion. And that's on the star players or whoever the locker room leaders are and the coaching staff. When there's this much chaos, it's not just because Luka's a pick and roll guy and he's just reading the play. It can't be that for 48 minutes because A, Luka isn't playing for some of those minutes, and B, there's out of timeout plays. There's a lot of opportunities for the coaching staff to assert itself, and I don't really see that happening. I was thinking about this the other night. Everybody was when JJ Redick was hired. It was all about his philosophies and his ideas and what he wanted to see happen, and that's all great. But I hate to say it, but we all got ideas and we all got dreams and we all got hopes, and that's not unique, and that's not enough. It's not enough to have a good idea or a good philosophy if you cannot, through force of will, charisma, skill, or ability, impose that upon your team and make them execute, make them play hard. I don't care what you think. I really don't. I really don't care what you think about what is going on, or that, we're not, the physicality isn't there. That's clear. We don't need the head coach to sit in front of a national TV audience telling us what we all see on a game debate, that this team is not hitting first. And then when they get hit, they whine. They whine to the refs. They whine to the media. They don't hit back. There's nobody hitting back. It's just a lot of, and it's everybody. It's LeBron trailing a play, talking to the ref. It's Luka trailing a play, talking to the ref. It's DeAndre Ayton, standing there with this incredulous expression on his face. All of these guys, all of the starters. Marcus Smart has it's like he's got a talk show going on while he's playing. But it's like, dude, just stop. All of them need to stop and just focus on the game. Get out of your head. Get out of what you think should be happening. Just go out there and compete. And if you can't do that, it starts with the player, but the coaching staff is not shining right now. And nobody's shining right now. I don't want to put this on the coaching staff. LeBron's putting up great numbers, and it's hard to critique a 41-year-old for not
people
doing
do.
enough.
Don't trust me. People do every
I
single
know.
night I'm on the show.
Hey, and listen, and I will say, when you have that chunk of change being devoted to your, roster spot on the team, there is a fair amount of, well, what are we getting for that? And he's putting up numbers, but we're not putting up wins. Is that all LeBron? No, I don't think it is. And you can even argue that his defensive intensity has picked up in the last 2 or 3 games. I'm having a hard time critiquing LeBron these days. I'm having a hard time watching Luka with the refs, and it's the last 2 weeks of watching this. And I would never, again, I said this last week, I'll say it for forever, I would always make the Anthony Davis trade every single time. You have to make that trade. You make that trade. But watching Luka the last 2 weeks really just not be able to focus on the game and being so much more involved in how the refs are calling the game, and this sense of I should be getting 20 free throws again. It's just not going to happen. That's just not a realistic expectation, and you got to get over it. You're not going to win a title that way. Nobody whined their way to an NBA title. Not one person ever. And so the entire team has an 8-game road trip, I believe, coming up right now.
It's 9 of the next 10 are on the road.
Thank you. 9 of the next 10 on the road.
Let you know.
This is appropriate. This is the time to look in the mirror and decide. You still have a chance to decide how you want your season to go. When you get back from this road trip, you'll be past the halfway point. You'll be bumping up against the trading deadline. If you want to stay a Laker, if you want to win on this team, this is your chance to prove that it's time to do that. And if you can't do that, there's a lot of guys that I think we should just move on from.
So with that said, once again, it is Lakerholics Spotlight. It is LRob, Jamie Sweet, myself, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening on this great Lakers weekend. Don't forget tonight, after the game, which is the Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers, will be on for you, for your amusement. Of course, on the post game. Truly appreciate you joining us for that as well. Please like and subscribe. Helps out the channel immensely. So LRob, we get back into it as far as for tonight, like JB says, 9 of the next 10 on the road, with Portland being our next individual team that we step up against. With that, though, again, a myriad of problems. As YYC pointed out, as you and Jamie and myself have pointed out, just across the board, the Lakers. I mean, if you looked at it and you just didn't look at the record, you wonder how this team, is just absolutely anywhere near 9 games above 500. Seriously, because they rank in the bottom of several statistics, not one, not two, but several statistics, and it just blows me away how bad you could be but still be winning in NBA basketball. But LRob, I want to ask you this as we get back into it tonight, again for first of a back-to-back, and no Luka, by the way. What do we do as far as how we approach this second half of the season? What has to start turning around as far as it's concerned? We'll get into fixes, changes, if that's possible, if they will actually do it. Is there a person out there that can do it? We'll get to your guys' ideas on that in a sec. But as we lean into the second half of the season, by the time this weekend is done, your thoughts on where we go from here?
Yeah, I think what Jamie said is can be overlooked or understated. First, you just have to compete and focus on playing basketball. So, which game was the Sacramento game, the thing back and forth with the refs, and I mean that's defeatist. That is a defeatist attitude.
Yes.
Yeah, it does come from the top. So we know Luka's done a much better job of limiting himself in that area, but he seems to be falling back into that, and he's the leader. And so if he's going to do it, everybody's going to do it. But really, it's this. I don't know if it's a fix. Gerald, I don't know. I mean, the Lakers are what they are. Personnel, I mean, we know who each one of them are. I mean, the only one that probably that has some variance that maybe is LaRavia.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, Marcus Smart is going to be who he is. Bad three-point shooter. He will compete on the defensive end, but he just doesn't have the lateral quickness or the movement. He's got the know-how, but the body is just slow. And so he can't get back on defense. And we're asking him probably to do some stuff that he shouldn't do. LeBron, he's 41, so he's going to put up his number offensively. But he still can't get by guys like he used to. And his defense is going to be average at best. Luka is going to give you great offense. But he, it's not built around the type of team he really needs to thrive. So then the rest of the guys are just role players. Now, the one upside possibly is when Rui gets back his sea legs back, and he's playing back at a level that we know he can play at. Then that gives you a three-point shooter. That gives you a lot more offensive punch that they've really been missing. So that's the one thing that could, barring getting other guys back like Reeves and all of that. But the rest, other than that, the team is what it is. It's going to be win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. I guess the real discouraging part is you're losing the bad teams. You're not really even playing the really good teams yet, like, that's coming up. So, and then when you see a team like Denver lose their best player and they just continue to compete, give themselves a chance to win every day, that does make you take a look at it. And it's like, why are they competing? Yeah, they do have some younger players, but they're just competing. And so it's discouraging to see it. So I don't know. I just rambled. I don't know if that answers your questions, but
Just fine, my friend. Just fine.
that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for the same thing we've been getting, up and down, up and down.
And I know that a lot of people in the chat seem to have short-term memory loss when it comes to Austin Reeves, as far as it's concerned, because Austin Reeves, guys, was part of this losing streak before he went out injured. Yeah. So at least his defense was part of this losing streak. I will not question his offense, but when Joe and I talk, and a lot of other people talk about a best suited position on a championship team, which is this is not a championship team. When he's best suited on a championship team as a guy coming off his bench, is because of the fact he has certain defensive flaws and issues. When people talk about not committing, Jamie, to an Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic backcourt for the next 5 seasons, it's because they have great concerns about the perimeter defense when you throw those two out there together. They're the best of bros. They're the best of friends. They're great. I wish they both shot better from distance, but they don't. But with that, they are two of the highest scoring guard tandems. They're one of the highest scoring guard tandems in the league. I cannot deny that. So with that, I obviously he has been felt a big loss on the offensive end. So I want to hear your thoughts. What getting Austin Reeves back, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, will do for this team.
Well, I think he probably won't come back on the road trip, unfortunately. I would be surprised if they brought him back on the road trip, which means he's out till just before the All-Star break, around the trade deadline. I don't really want to pigeonhole a role for either for anyone named Reeves, Doncic, or LeBron, because, and the reason I say that is because the current Laker front office is all in on all three of those guys. They're all in on the idea of LeBron retiring a Laker, and they want to make that happen on every level. They're all in on Luka Doncic being the future of the franchise, and they're right. He is. And they're all in on Reeves being like the next big thing, and they're willing to give him enough rope to make that happen. And if they hang themselves with that rope, so be it. But I think it's quite clear that no matter what the outside noise thinks, whatever the fans think, whatever we think here on the show, that those are three truths. And it's hard for me to ignore that. So I don't ever see them having Reeves come off the bench, no matter how much sense it makes. And I think you could point at how Dallas got to the NBA Finals as a semi-blueprint for how a Reeves-Doncic backcourt can work. But you can't have a 41-year-old LeBron James in the starting lineup. You can't have, and I like Rui, but you can't have a passive and sort of just like, well, I'm here, Rui Hachimura in the starting lineup. And you can't have a mercurial, moody center like DeAndre Ayton. You need the best version of Jackson Hayes, which is like a Derek Lively. A guy who can affect the game on both ends of the court in the paint and finish the lob plays. Because that's what Luka and Reeves do for you. And what I like about the difference between Luka and Reeves, specifically on offense, and on defense, we just don't have guys to cover for them. Or we don't play the guys with them that can cover for them.
No, we don't. We don't have it. Just be honest. Okay. Our so-called high-level defenders all got roasted by names like Ball, Knipple. Yeah, they all got killed. Luka and LeBron, for however much flack they deserve, Jamie, on the defensive end normally.
Yeah.
The Charlotte game proved they didn't have to play much in the way of defense. Okay. I know normally I will trash LeBron if he goes and slacks off, or Luka when he slacks off the defensive end. They didn't have to play much defense because the guys lighting it up for 50% from 3 were Knipple, were Ball, and Bridges. And those guys were being played primarily by
Smart,
Vando, by
Laravia.
Smart, and Laravia, and also a dash of
Rui.
Kobe Buffkin. But Kobe Buffkin played hard in his
Well,
18 minutes, but didn't
yeah.
do much to affect the game as overall because he didn't score any points. But those other three guys, Laravia, of course, Vincent too. Gabe Vincent too. They just shoot over Gabe Vincent like he's
Yep.
he's a miniature. And
Yep.
with Vando, Knipple blew by him for an easy layup, and I'm just going, this is our high level defender. You guys
Yeah.
sit on here on Vando Hill and you defend him, and I'm just like, give me a break. Give me a break. Marcus Smart, the vaunted Marcus Smart Defensive Player of the Year. That ship has sailed, guys.
Oh, yeah.
That ship has sailed. That's gone. You've got a 31-year-old player that still occasionally can play with great effort, but he is not the same after ruining his body on those fake parquet floors. So you have to understand where these guys are at overall in the NBA. The Lakers just don't have the talent. Rob went into a certain direction because he wanted to go in a certain direction going forward. And this is the team we have going into the second half of the season, unless changes are made. It's just that simple. So again, if you want the big decision, you want Austin Reeves to sign that 5-year contract, fine. That's absolutely fine. That's your opinion. That's fine. But understand there are caveats with it. If you want LeBron to go, that's and fine. But what players are we going to fill up with that cap space? What decisions are going to be made with that?
That's a summer decision. We don't have A, we don't have the cap space now, and B, we got one pick to play with. So I don't really see. I mean, I hate to say it, but I just don't really see a needle moving move available to us in season.
Well, and Reed, to top that off, okay, you said Lakers signed a guy like Buffkin and Timmy, guys that are bounced around the league. You're right. These guys are bounced around the league and they've had opportunities before. They don't keep a guy like SPJ. SPJ, I was wrong on. He has become a good player, although he's been hurt this season.
Yeah, he's been hurt the whole season, I think.
Yeah, he is a really good player and has become a really good player. Jordan Goodwin, who we were all right on, and because the Lakers wanted to pay for Marcus Smart, they chose him instead. LRob, I'm coming to you with this. Jay Huff, guys, do you guys realize Jay Huff was on this roster? They had a chance to sign him to an ultra cheap contract. Look at the box score of what he did last night. 29-9. I went to that to seep in. Oh, don't forget the 2 block shots because he leads the league in block shots. Not Wembanyama because of games played. It is right now Jay Huff. Look at that. Yep. Yeah. So with that said, plus he shoots threes. So Tom would be loving it as far as Jay Huff. So I don't understand why he was never on the Jay Huff train. It just blew me away. But with that, LRob, I see a lot of mistakes that have been made as far as management. I'm going on another show here in the next couple of days, hopefully with one of our frequent chat members on the post game, Stefan, and he's going to try to sell me on Rob, and that sell job will last all 1/10 of a second because
good luck, Stefan.
The roster decision making that went into making this roster is just. It's just not there. It's just not there. And I don't have any faith Rob is going to be able to, once that cap space is free or in this trade deadline, make the right moves. I don't think Jonathan Kuminga is the answer. He doesn't shoot well. He doesn't focus on the defense. Why is he not playing in Golden State if he is? I understand he has athleticism, but there's reasons why he doesn't play in Golden State before all this stuff happened. So with that, Rob, do you have faith that Rob and management will turn this around and this team will be close instead of closer to mediocrity, then closer to a championship, something closer to a championship, in the not too distant future?
No, not at all. It's
I second that.
The trade with Mark Williams. It's a lot that just seems like it looks okay. I mean, initially, Connect looked like a great draft choice. And, man, I can't think of somebody who's did a bigger turnaround in a short amount of time, a young player that, I don't know what happened to him, but wow. So yeah, the picks haven't gone well. DeAndre Ayton looked like a good pickup, but now we're seeing what everybody else saw. Nice score, but doesn't really impact the game a lot. You don't really feel him in the games. So yeah, no, it's time to move. It is time. New ownership, I'm sure that they'll make a decision pretty soon, unless barring something miraculously happen this year. I can't see them moving forward with Rob. So, but I mean, he's had a good run. He's got a championship out of it, so you can't. Banners cannot be removed. He did do that. I lost it when he got rid of Dwight Howard. I mean, to this day, you had got rid of guys who could still play, and you had a championship team, and you rolled the dice. And when you roll the dice and it comes up snake eyes, usually you don't stick around in his profession. So it is what it is. I don't dislike Rob. I wouldn't say I've seen a lot worse GMs. But yeah, the Lakers deserve better at this point.
Jamie, again, when it comes to what we've seen with the Lakers so far this season, again, a lot of pressure from our fan base has said they need to make moves as far as to try and make this team more competitive. With the myriad of assets, I'm sorry, they don't, that they have. Well, they've got 5 pick swaps. They if you're into pick swaps, you've come to the right place when it comes to the Lakers. You got 5 pick swaps. Oh boy. So yeah, exactly. If you're really into that, you could go ahead and call up the Lakers. But with that, is there anything really that can be done for the Lakers this season? Or will Rob actually go ahead and try to make the Lakers more competitive this season?
I mean, listen, so I want to touch on something that you mentioned, and I think that everybody's kind of brought up, and it's one of the problems I have with Rob Pelinka, and I've had with Rob Pelinka really since the title year, is I still don't see the plan. I don't see what he believes the team identity should be, because you won with a defense. You won the title with a roster built for Frank Vogel. Then, when everybody was hurt, you fired Frank Vogel. And you hired Darvin Ham. And in the year that you hired Darvin Ham, or in the time that you had Darvin Ham as your head coach, you were able to flip Russell Westbrook, finally, in his expiring contract year, for some interesting players that, we were play-in or bust. We were struggling to make the play-in that season. A bunch of guys came onto the roster, started playing hard, started playing fast. Everybody was playing hard under Darvin Ham. You could argue that the offense under both Vogel and Ham was a work in progress for eternity, but you never questioned the effort. You never questioned the defensive intensity. You gave extensions to all the Darvin Ham players, Vando, Hayes, all these guys that played well under Darvin Ham. Then you fire Darvin Ham. You bring in JJ Redick, who doesn't seem to know how to use these guys. And here we are with this roster that doesn't fit Redick's philosophies, or this coach that doesn't fit the roster, and management is just all in on it, outwardly facing. Who knows what they really think about it? I don't know. Maybe they're not all in on it. But, I mean, you don't give an extension to Vando if you're not going to have a guy who's going to put him in a position to succeed. And I don't think Redick puts him in a position to succeed. And you're not going to have a better defensive team than you had under Vogel or Ham by bringing in a guy who's a 3-point shooting role player who doesn't seem to appreciate defense. And so there's there's a whole bunch of pieces here that I think actually work better than they do because of a clashing of styles internally. And so really, I feel like Rob's got a real tough pill to swallow here. He's either got to move pieces that don't fit and not be so invested in the return that he doesn't hold, that he stops the deal. If you can trade Vando for a serviceable player and a couple second rounders, you should do that. If you could trade Ayton for literally anything, you should do that. This is quickly becoming a gap year. You have expiring contracts, which have value at the deadline. Other teams are smart. OKC knows when to pull the plug. Other teams understand that this just isn't going to be our year, and we need to really have things to work with over the next 3 or 4 years if we really want to build a contender around Doncic. But the Lakers aren't doing that. They're trying to straddle all these different narratives. It's LeBron's swan song. We're building a team for Luka. Mark Walters is this fantastic new owner who's going to spend $1 bajillion on a salary capped team that you can't really spend $1 bajillion on. And none of it really makes sense. None of it is working, clearly. And so I don't know what's going to break first. It's either going to be who's the scapegoat in this situation more than anybody. In my opinion, it's Rob Pelinka, because as Rob said, we've been watching him build shoddy rosters for several years now. And a lot of people are saying that. So it's not just me. It's not just Rob. It's like, I'm scrolling through the chat every once in a while, and everybody's saying the same thing. We missed on Goodwin. We missed big on Goodwin. And you could even argue that Redick missed big on Goodwin, because Redick had the foresight to play him in the regular season and then benched him in the playoffs until the last game, when it was like, well, now it's too late. Like, this is a guy who got you here and you ignored him. You tossed him to the wayside. And there's just this lack of development. And it's funny because they brought in Redick as a development guy. There's a lack of development on this team. We had Dalton Connect playing pretty well. He got an ankle injury, I think, before he got traded, and he's been broken since then. And you just don't. You got to move on from Connect this summer. You had to have done something. You just got to get rid of him. Like, get anything. Get anything for it. Like,
because he can be an expiring salary, just to let everyone know.
There's team option. His team has
Halloween. Halloween is a very, very momentous time for him over the next 2 years. I'll just say that for one reason or another.
Oh, I mean, it's every young player who's like a mid first rounder, right? That's your burden. You're a mid to late first rounder. You're not a top 10 guy. You're not a second rounder, so you're not going to be this like dark horse candidate. You're like good enough to go in the first round, but you're not good enough to impact winning. Unless you put a lot of time and work in on the aspects of your game you're not good at, like defense. And it's clear that Connect does not put the time and effort into his defense to impact winning on that end of the court. And so there's this whole, you go down the whole roster, every move made, taking Jalen Hood-Schifino over Jaime Jaquez. Like, you could just go down and down and down and down the years since Rob took over and just be like, what? What? And so I would like to see Rob be the one that follows, but I hate to say it. I think it's going to be Redick. I think Redick's going to be the one that gets fired. We'll get another coach, and we'll go through this whole thing again of like, there's this identity we're trying to build and this culture, and we believe in development, and we're a defense first team, and we also believe in threes and analytics, and everybody's going to say that, and it doesn't matter. Like, I don't really care what you say in your press conferences. I could care less. Just get the team to play hard, and he's not doing that. Get the team to make sense on paper. Rob isn't doing that. Somebody's got to go. And I hate to say it, but I don't think either one's going to go until after this. It's some time in the next year. If we're a playing team, maybe Rob or Redick gets fired this summer, but I don't know. I think they're going to give everybody a shot. If LeBron leaves, I think they're going to get everybody a shot with like the new team. And that's just what I think. I kind of hate to say it though.
No, you're right, T3. He doesn't give you much on the offensive end. Caruso does, but his defensive and his tenacity and defense, you can argue. I mean, you talked to OKC. Talk to OKC about what he did in their title run, and
he defends anybody you want, and his offense is timely. It's not volume. Everybody loves. I don't understand this obsession with volume output, as if more is just always better. I can't. It's like, I'm only going to eat at the all-you-can-eat buffet. I'm never going to touch a salad. Like
yeah. What? And he's a smart player.
He is a very smart player. And again, you ask OKC what he meant to them as far as a young team taking that next step and him bringing that championship pedigree and toughness that he did during that finals run. Gerald Adams saying every player on the floor has to be high level off. You hope so. You hope at least the effort, T3. And I don't see the effort on this team. I mean, I know not everybody can be a high level two-way player. Let's just put it that way. In fact, there are not that many.
There's not that many out there.
There's not that many out there, but it's about effort and about what you want to give on that floor. When especially when things are not starting to go well, like for the Lakers against Charlotte, everything clicked and everybody was smiling when Luka hit for 19 at the end of that quarter, and the Lakers were up 39-30. But then when it starts to go awry, you have to focus and lock in more. And it seemed like the Lakers just didn't. They just didn't feel like they wanted it. So, LRob, I'll say this. Oh, and I want to mention also as well, I know some people in the chat earlier said something about the Westbrook trade is finally being over with. I hate to be the bearer of bad news again. The 2027 first-round pick for the Lakers is going to Utah because of the Westbrook trade. So
that's right.
I'm
not out of it yet.
Still not done with it yet. So sorry. And again, that's Rob Pelinka. You guys say it's LeBron because of the dinner and all that.
Took picks to get rid of him.
Yeah. Rob, it has the final call on these trades. The buck should stop with Rob.
Yep.
With Caruso over THT, with all the decisions, the buck stops with Rob. So don't give me, you give me all this LeBron and Westbrook, the dinner with AD and all. Great. I'm glad they had a meal together. But if you have a general manager who is not going to cater to any type of company like Rich Paul's company, if they're not going to cater to anyone else outside sources, you have to make the call as the GM. So with that, LRob, this team, again, I think it just has to start with focus. It has to start with effort. I'm not saying the talent is there, because the talent, obviously, as we see as a whole, is not at a level that a championship level needs in order to go ahead and get the title this season. But there can be steps to where the Lakers can get to where they once were at the beginning of the season. But for me, it starts with the effort and intensity that I think they just don't have right now.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one thing that they miss from Austin. He's got some flaws in his game, but he competes. And when I think he rises, he helped the rest of the team level of competitiveness rise with them when they see him out there going at guys and playing as hard as he plays. So you need to compete. Very rarely do I see games where I feel like he's not competing. Aiden, you see games where you don't think he's competing.
Yep.
Bron, you can see it. Luka, he just competes in a different way. So it's kind of hard to.
Smart's always competing, but his body is, Gerald, you guys both have said, his body is just slowing down.
Yeah. Him, Gabe, those guys are going to compete, but they're limited players. So, I mean, that's,
they just shoot over Vincent at this point.
Yeah, Vando's going to compete, but, how effective? I mean, you got to be effective too while you're competing too. So, I mean, hey, we when you got Reeves, when you got LeBron, when you got Luka, Lakers have a team that can be competitive and can compete with guys. So, that's all you got to do is wait for that to happen and come back and just hope somehow they winning begets winning. Once you get in a winning streak and people start feeling good, you want to compete. You want to show up to the gym. You want to put that extra effort in. You want to. So, I mean, the team can get back on a roll, but it's hard. Once you get caught in a losing habit, it's hard to reverse it. I mean, the Clippers have dug themselves out, and now they're playing good ball, and they're missing guys, and they're still playing. That's how it is once you feel good about your team and you're,
And at the current trajectory, by the end of the season, could realistically pass the Lakers as far as the Lakers going down, the Clippers going up. I know that's laughable now, but on their current trajectories, both the Lakers and the Clippers, it might be a possibility, LRob.
Yeah, that wouldn't be surprising, actually, based on the way the Lakers are playing. I mean, the Lakers are not just losing. That's another thing too. They're not losing just, they're getting blown
They're
out.
getting beat.
Yeah,
they're getting run off the floor.
Yeah, it's not competitive in a lot of these games. So that's disheartening.
And Jonathan Kuminga again, Jamie Sweet. I know it's been asked. No. Again, you have an athletic player who doesn't defend because of focus. Gee, that fits right in. And then who can't shoot from distance. So he doesn't stretch the floor, but he sees himself as a guy that can dominate and score a lot of points. I mean, there are players like that in the league.
Which he can. I think he can, but is he a winning player?
Yeah, is he a winning player? But
I don't view him as a winning player.
He's going to get great stats on bad team, but on a team like the Lakers that have some type of title aspirations, he is not the guy you want, Jamie Sweet. Especially
somebody put here. Yeah, Daruku995 says another Ayton, and I think he's talking about Kuminga, and that's how I feel about him as well. Mm-hmm. I don't want another. Listen. You don't get to the NBA. I don't care what your role is in the NBA. You don't get to the NBA without talent. You just don't do it. There's these guys all got talent. They're all good at basketball, right? Some better than others, and that's great. I'm tired of us having, and this is one of the reasons I like having Smart on the team. I like Smart. The idea of Smart coming off the bench in a limited role, similar to a Vando and a Vincent, 15 to 20 minutes. You can't be playing Smart 25, 30. You can't be playing.
Oh, you don't want to pay him $12 to $15 million like Tom does?
No. If he opts out, bye.
Okay.
See you later. Enjoy that raise you're getting in Turkey or Israel or Turkmenistan or wherever you're going to play next. That's not in the NBA, because you're not going to get more than $8 million next season, Marcus Smart, or whatever he's making this season, $5 million. He's just not. It's just not going to happen. He is now. You're on the vet minimum train, my man, and you can either accept that or not, and that's entirely up to him. But when it comes to guys like Kuminga and Ayton, there's guys who are team guys like Caruso, right? Doesn't need to see his stat line fill up. Doesn't need to know there's going to be plays run for him or that he's going to get a double-double or hit any statistical benchmark. He just shows up and plays hard. Smart shows up and plays hard. I think he's a little more worried about his stats than Caruso is, but he just wants to win. These are the guys we need. That's the quality of character you want on the team. The talent level is going to fluctuate. But this has been the whole theme of the show. If you're competing, you're giving yourself a chance. If you try hard, you're giving yourself a chance. Your talent is going to be part of the factor, but your effort determines far more than your talent does in any sport, except maybe golf, where it's focus. You have to compete. You have to pull your head out of the referee whining and the oh, my role isn't what it's exactly supposed. Dude, just play hard. Just stop. Get out of your head. And this comes back to the coach, I think, more than anybody else. A strong force of personality rallies the team. Phil Jackson was not a brilliant X's and O's coach. He managed players, and he didn't even he wasn't the nicest guy either. He wasn't like everybody's best friend. But he got everybody on the same page, and he got everybody competing. Give me that coach. I don't know who it is. I honestly, I thought it was, to be honest, Darvin Ham is more that coach than JJ Redick is, unfortunately. And I had problems with Darvin Ham as coach. I have problems with JJ Redick coach. I really thought Frank Vogel was our best coach we've had since Phil. We fired him for no good reason. So there's just so many talent evaluations with the front office. There's so many motivational issues with the coaching staff, and there's so many I'm worried more about me than the team issues with the guys on the roster. I just don't see us being able to overcome all three of those hurdles this season. You either have to fix the front office, fix the coaches, or fix the roster. And for the Lakers, I think it's going to be a lot easier to fix the coaches or fix the GM because we don't have a lot to work with to fix the roster. And, that's just that's the corner we're boxed into right now. There's no one player. We can talk about. Let's say we got Kuminga. Let's say somehow we were able to get in on a Kuminga trade, and we ship Rui's expiring contract out for Kuminga, and you get him on the option, and you give him the rest of the season, and he plays hard. Let's say he plays hard and doesn't whine or get mopey about not putting up 27 shots a game or whatever it is that bothers him on a daily basis, which seems to be a lot. That's not changing this team enough. That's not a culture change. It's a culture change for the worse, I would argue, because what more should you be playing for on Golden State than like you could have been like a key part of a dynasty. Clearly, Kuminga wants to go somewhere like Brooklyn or the Wizards and just jack up shots, in my opinion. And maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe it's just he and Kerr don't get along. Maybe there's some sort of weird philosophical difference there that we just don't know about. But it's hard to ignore the pedigree of Steve Kerr and what Kuminga has been unable to do on that team, which is find any kind of niche whatsoever, and think that he's the answer for us. There's a huge gap in that logic for me. I can't bridge all of those. I don't see how that works.
He's again, some people will point out like Lakers All Day put in there as far as how he did against the Minnesota series. No one questions when there's not players, like for instance, there was no Curry. He got hurt early on.
He got free run. Yeah, he got free reign.
He got free run to score, and he could score. There's no doubt. Nobody questions the ability to score. But the fact is, unfortunately, he has flaws in his game and effort on defense, which fits right in with what the Lakers don't need. Someone that doesn't have a focus on the defensive end, who has the abilities and athleticism that he does, and who cannot stretch the floor out at all because he's 32% from behind the arc. So LRob, I'm not in love with what Rich Paul says, especially as of late, that seemed to have garnered a lot of friction in regards to his podcast appearance where he called for Austin Reeves to be traded for Triple J, which, by the way, is a Clutch client. Wow, what a quinky dink there.
What a coincidence.
But I will go back to what he said when LeBron picked up the $52.6 million option in the final year of his contract. And he did say something that does hold validity. And that was that the Lakers were on a two-way plan and that they wanted to be competitive now, but save plenty of that beloved cap space for the future, whether it's this upcoming summer when the Lakers on draft day will have 3 first-round draft choices to trade, but that day only. And then after that for 27, possibly when Giannis, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not asking for a trade. I'm not asking for this. I'm not asking for that. Okay, Antetokounmpo, or a pipe dream, Nikola Jokic, who probably will sign a extension this summer because the fact it's $80 million richer than it was last summer. But okay, you guys can hold on to that. Be that as it may, 27 is also attractive as well. So your thoughts, should they stay on that plan or try something different and try to, with whatever assets they have, try to save the season now?
What assets do they have?
No. You can't.
One pick.
Those pick swaps.
Yeah. Lakers, as they're constructed now, won't be, the ceiling is winning one round in the playoffs.
Yeah,
can't see them beating a top team. So, and you're not going to get some. You can't pull off anything mid-season. I don't think that can raise your ceiling significantly. So, why do it for the sake of just making a move and saying you're trying? Now, Rob's timeline might be a little different. So that's the scary part. He may feel the pressure to doing something now because if they don't, in the year showing some promise, then he may not be around to cash in on those draft picks or anything in the summer. So that's kind of conflicted. But no, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, and this is the time you hold them, my friend. You do not cash your chips into the middle of the table and swing for the fences right now.
No, I agree.
And Lakers all day again. I was just gonna say Lakers all day. You're holding on to a 5-game series.
I was going to say the same thing.
Where their best player was not in the lineup, and he was asked to just shoot.
Three things about that series. A, Golden State didn't win, so I don't care.
Didn't contribute to winning
stats.
there. So
right,
there you go.
He didn't impact winning. He put up stats. That's what all sorts of bad players put up stats. I'm not saying bad because you're in the NBA. I just mean like you're not good enough to be a champion. And for the Lakers, that's the bar. You can't just be calories. You can't be Bradley Beal in Washington.
Well, with the leading scorer
let me just say this though. In Kuminga's defense, I don't think Golden State's handled the situation well either.
No, they haven't.
They have not done well by him. He and Steve Kerr have some sort of thing
both
going
ways. On. Yeah, and Kerr let his ego or whatever get in the way of handling that situation. It hasn't been handled well. So we're going to see. Kuminga will get his opportunity. Lakers all day. If it not, it probably won't be with the Lakers, but whatever, he will get the opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think
he will come back and tell everybody how great he is, and you knew he was has the potential.
But the thing is,
like, let's not forget, Kuminga did that in his contract year. Yeah. He was looking this. He wanted somebody to look at what he was doing and drop a max offer that would force Golden State to be like, no, never mind, go play for them. That's what he wanted. Let's be honest.
The thing is, when you have the leading scorer in the league and you have 2 other 20-point scorers, the last thing you need right now is another scorer who doesn't help you stretch the floor for one of the worst shooting teams in the league, or defend because he doesn't want to, or doesn't focus on it for one of the worst defensive teams in the league. They do need scoring, but off the bench, because the Lakers happen to be the worst scoring bench. And I thought last year was one of the worst benches I've ever seen from this team. This year is worse. Now, part of it is because of the injuries, and Smart and LaRavia have had to move into the starting lineup quite a bit. So I'd
keep LaRavia in the starting 5. Well,
at this point, the way Rui has played this season, I don't know if you can justify putting him back in the starting lineup, because LaRavia has had a little more consistency therein.
More
effort. And I give you that absolutely. And plus, with Rui, it's just the fact that I think he's just always, as we've said on this show, LRob, he's just a player. He is not athletic enough for a small forward, and he may not be large enough or big enough for a power forward. I probably put him, if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say power forward is a better position for him, but there's a certain 41-year-old in that power forward lineup as far as where they're at. So what do you do with Rui Hachimura going forward? I mean, at this point, I would say you either try to move on with the cap space, or you look to try and move him for something that can help you incrementally.
Is that for me or Jamie?
That was for LRob. You.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. What do you do with Rui? Oh man. Cap space.
Theoretically, LaRavia could guard 2 or 3s, but again, none of the defenders did that in Charlotte. Against Charlotte.
I don't. I disagree with 2s. He gets blown by. Rui gets blown by.
Yeah.
Cap space. Like Knipple. Knipple made a fool out of him.
Knipple's a special player, and we can't take that away from him. I mean, at some point, you also have to tip your cap to the offensive
rookie,
guy.
though.
Well, that doesn't mean he's not good at basketball. He's good at basketball.
Rui's not the only one Knipple's making look bad. So
Vando was look bad. I'm especially.
The Lakers is not the only team. He's
not averaging 19 points. You're right. He's not averaging 19 points for nothing.
43 something percent from 3.
Golden State, Charlotte's winning because of him more than LaMelo Ball. Let's be honest. So. Yeah. And his ability to get that shot off in a fraction of a second is just ridiculous. Like the guy shoots so fast, it's crazy.
But
Rui couldn't even guard Julius Randle. That's a good point. I think LRob's right. I think when it comes to Rui Hachimura, I think your best option is to just let the cap space come in, because I mean, if you can trade him for another guy who you get like a 3-month, 2-month look at, another expiring contract, or at least one that you have the option on, all right, sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see another 3-4 years of, well, we got to deal with this guy, because we already got that in Vando. And look, I love Jared Vanderbilt. I don't think he and Redick are as good a fit as Kuminga and Kerr, which is to say bad. It's a bad fit. The coach and the player do not complement each other's strengths. And that's just the truth of it. And this is I don't know, this is what I get and you can take this back to roster construction. Why are you giving JJ Redick a roster that doesn't fit his philosophies? You're not putting your coach in the best chance to succeed. Why, as a coach, are you not adapting your philosophies to the roster that your GM gave you? That's bad coaching. These are the problems. We got talented guys. We got enough talent to be better than we've seen. And we saw us competing harder, for 2 months up until mid-December, early December, somewhere in there. This team didn't have a play hard issue. It had a couple of games where they got blown out, and you could see that Redick got frustrated. Come December, we either get blown out or we make shots and we blow somebody else out. But we aren't tough. We can't stay in the tough games. We can't hold on to leads in the tough games. And once we lose a lead, once the other team sees that we're just going to kind of roll over and die, they run it down our throats. And that's the pattern in December that's disconcerting, is that the lack of fire from everybody.
So with that, again, I'll bring it back to you, LRob, as Jamie just hopped in and hopped out there. LRob, I want to ask you this. So with the Lakers, we're getting close to the end here, guys. So wanted to ask you this. Your final thoughts, my friend, as the Lakers head into this back-to-back with Portland and Toronto. No Luka for tonight's game. We'll see if he's there tomorrow, but this is a team in a little bit of turmoil. And I'm not sure if that turmoil is alleviating itself anytime soon in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I see a split coming. So Portland is always tough to beat up in Portland. Lakers, I'm not going to rule them out of beating Portland, because sometimes when your best player is out, other guys step up and take advantage of the opportunity. But I would expect, if I had to put money on it, I would expect the Lakers to lose tonight and bounce back and beat Toronto at home.
Okay. All right. Once again,
Toronto's not one of those teams with that offensive firepower. I think that have come in and punished the Lakers.
Or that raw athleticism, that speed and athleticism that we have a hard time with.
That's for sure. Jamie, any last thoughts on the Lakers heading into the second half of the season before we head now?
Joe Rook, it was an epic monologue, and I'm sorry the stream dropped it. And you're right with YYC, Joe. We would need to attach a pick for that trade to go through, and I don't even know if that's enough for the Kings. And then again, Monk's under contract for 3 more seasons, so you really got to believe that he's going to be, the piece that you need. And I don't know that any of us really truly believe that. It's a modest contract. I think he tops out at 28.7, 28.9, something like that on the last year, but. It's a lot of money to be given to a guy who's a streaky shooter, and it would solve our bench problems scoring wise, or our shooting guards problems if we don't somehow manage to not hold on to Reeves.
It's around 20. It tops out at 21 in
21. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with what I see. If we had a pick, that would be huge. This is going to be a weird take. I don't think we should trade any of our picks for a while. We need to get younger. We need to scout better, and we need to get younger. And I'm not talking about, hey, we found this guy on the scrap heap at the bottom of the second round. I mean, like, first round talent that comes in and is like able to impact winning. And we haven't been able to do that. Adi Theoro hasn't been able to do that. Jalen Chafino wasn't able to do that. Dalton Connect hasn't been able to do that. That's 3 misses.
Adi was second. Second.
The
Lakers moved up twice.
We moved up twice to pick them.
Yes. They moved up twice in the second round of the draft, hopped over guys like Will Richard, War out of New York, and Reynal out of Sacramento, who are
killing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is my point: is that we're missing on these. We're missing on the young guys, and the league is trending younger. And if we can't keep missing on young guys, so that's my take on that part. In terms of tomorrow night and tonight, I think LRob's right. I think we lose in Portland. I think that everything about we're just a better matchup for Toronto. We match up better with Toronto than we do with Portland in every sense of the word. Toronto's just gonna, they're gonna rely on the half court a little more. Portland's gonna push it. They're gonna have a more aggressive trapping defense. They're gonna try to double the whoever's handling the ball for us tonight. I guess it's gonna be a lot of Smart and Vincent and LeBron. So we'll see some Bronny. We'll see some Nick Smith Jr. Nick Smith Jr. went off against Portland a couple months ago. So maybe he goes off again. Maybe he just loves to see Portland. And he can go off for another 20 or so, 20-something points and save the game. But, barring something like that, I don't see us winning tonight. And Luka, I'm assuming, will be back for the Toronto game. And so I think that split is probably fair. We lose tonight and win tomorrow.
LRob, great to have you here, my friend. It's great to have you back. We missed you, my friend.
Good to be back.
Yes, always good to have you back, my friend.
Such a level head. I appreciate it.
Oh, wow, you just like the fact that he's not giving you the number one sign like Laker Tom does. He gets mad at you.
Hey man, I had the audacity to suggest that Jordan Goodwin was better than Marcus Smart this season, and the numbers bear it out. So I don't know what he's so mad about.
I would lean Jordan Goodwin.
It's not even a question.
Now, I am surprised Marcus Smart has played in as many games as he has, because early on it was looking like kind of iffy with his injuries, but I am happy on the fact that he's available because after the past 2 seasons where he wasn't available. So, contract year or a year where he has to decide whether or not he wants to become a free agent or not, it's a wait and see with Marcus Smart, but he is at least available, which is the first step. Now, consistency is, we'll see, an effort,
elusive.
He's trying. Yes, but stuff like that. Again, there's other issues with Marcus Smart, but at least he is on the floor, which again goes back to what you guys said earlier about the AD trade. You'd make it 10 times out of 10.
10 times out of 10.
However many issues we have with Luka, however many complaints I get about Luka, however many issues about, and you guys all have a point when you do say that he's on the floor. Where is AD right now?
Not on the floor. I feel bad for AD though, and I wish AD the best. I'm a big AD believer. I love AD. I wish he had been a healthier player.
Any thoughts on AD, my friend LRob?
Yeah, I'm the same with Jamie. I'm an AD guy as well, and I'm just thankful we got to see probably the best version of him while he was still healthy. He got us a championship. Who knows what we would have did the next year. He got hurt in that Phoenix series. But I firmly think we had a legitimate chance of beating them. But I just hope he can find some level of health moving forward when he comes back next year, I guess, at this point, or later this year. So, yeah. So I'm rooting for him probably the same way Dallas fans still root for Luka.
Yep.
Not equating him to Luka, but I'm just saying I root for AD.
Yeah, I will always root for AD, but the facts are the facts, and he's just not on the floor right now, and Luka is. However much we
wouldn't trade for him. I am happy that he's not an injured Laker right now.
That's right.
Be good.
That's right.
He's okay. Yes, he's been a good rotation player. Daruko for Christie has, but again, he's a rotation player, so you don't keep the rotation player for the guy that gets you 30 plus points a game. It's just the math doesn't work, and if AD is not there to supplement that for the Dallas Mavericks, this trade has looked better and better for the Lakers. Now, is it going to lead to winning? Is it going to lead to a championship? I don't know. That's up to the individual that's making the decisions to build around Luka, and we'll see if that happens. But once again, it is the Lakerholics. Please go ahead and support Jamie Sweet, Laker Tom, Michael Heinrich, and LRob when they're there at Lakerholics.com. It's a great community, so be a part of it. LRob, great to have you back. Looking forward to when you can stop on by again. Jamie, looking forward to when you can hop on as host and hopefully not argue with Laker Tom again.
It's inevitable. I mean, we just
Okay.
we appreciate each other's opinions, but we have very differing
Do
basketball
you really?
philosophies.
Do you?
Yes, I really
Does
appreciate his opinion.
Do,
Even when he flips me off, I don't mind.
okay,
Listen,
that's not I don't know. I came from a, I'm almost as old as you guys are. I came from a time where, when you give somebody a finger, you're not really appreciating their opinion.
Oh, I don't know if he appreciates my opinions. I
Well,
appreciate
there you
his.
go. There you go. Now, thank you for correcting said statement. Indeed. Once again,
I can only speak for myself. I only ever speak for myself. I'm not here to put up words in other people's mouths. I can always speak for myself.
I'll speak for Laker Tom. He has nothing but love for you, Jamie.
That's right. That's
it
right.
was
Baby.
done out of pure love.
That's right. All love. Like Fred used to say. You remember Fred with the PH? Fred used to be, it's all about the love, baby. It's all about the love.
All about the love, indeed. So, again, please join us later tonight for the post game against Portland and tomorrow against Toronto as well. Once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you stopping on by. Support Lakerholics.com. Please like and subscribe on your way out. It really helps the channel. And don't forget to be a part of what we're doing all weekend long as part of a great Lakers weekend right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Have a great weekend, everyone, and be safe.